Hey everyone, welcome to my newest video. This is for a painting called Saba that I painted back in March. So it's one of these older paintings that I still really like to this day. I didn't record the part where I was flatting the colors. The transfer was very transparent, or light I should say, not really transparent. But yeah, you couldn't really see the sketch, so before starting the recording I put all my flat colors down and then I started with the shading on camera. So I'm starting with the eyes. It's something I've been doing a bit more. I used to jump around the face, but in my more recent paintings I've started completing portions one at a time. So eyes, nose, mouth, I will work on them until they are complete and then move on to the next part. That's something I've changed. I think it makes, because I stream a lot, I stream all my paintings pretty much, I thought that it would be more interesting to the people to see, portions completed rather than an overall painting progressing very slowly. So now I've moved on to the mouse. This concept sketch started in my sketchbook as usual, and it's one of those sketches where I knew I was going to paint it. I knew it was going to be painted. I just didn't know how I would be painting it. At the time I was doing a lot of watercolors, and I felt that I wouldn't get the effect I wanted with watercolors. It's completely doable to do the same kind of painting in watercolors. It's just that I wasn't feeling it. I wanted to change in medium. I'd been doing a lot of watercolor paintings, and it was probably time for me to switch. I love to switch between medium. I love to paint with either watercolors, gouache, and acrylic, and also oil more recently. So yeah, it was time for this one to be done in acrylics, and that allowed me to not have to worry about the white of the flowers, to not have to preserve the white of the flowers or the hair. It was just a bit easier for this painting. You can call me a lazy painter, that's cool, I'm down with that. So yeah, I just really liked it. The flowers were referenced from my own garden. There are jasmine flowers which are growing all around my fences in my house. So I just cut a few branches and used that in my sketch as reference. So you could say that was drawn from life. The face is a mishmash of different things. I did use a reference picture to get the overall maybe feeling of it. The mouth certainly comes from the reference picture, and the nose possibly, but I've changed the eyes, the expression. I cropped the picture differently because I wanted space over her head so I could have those antlers of flowers. And yeah, the name Saba was suggested by one of my viewers on Twitch. It's the name, I've changed the spelling I think, but it's based on the Irish legend of the lady that turns into a deer. I'll let you Google that. I can't remember the story now, but she falls in love with an Irish warrior. It goes to war, and she gets tricked by a druid or something like that, a bad guy, and he transforms her into a doe. That's a word, not deer, a doe. And when the warrior comes back home, he recognizes her from eyes, which are still the same as the human eyes, and they have a baby, I think, something weird, or she was pregnant when she got made into a doe. Anyway, it's quite an interesting story. I'll let you Google it. So yeah, the hair, I knew I wanted to do ombre hair with some purple, and the acrylic really allowed me to layer the color and go back over it with light colors. If you were to do that with watercolors, you would have to bring gouache or be extremely careful in your painting so as to not cover the light strands. Moving on to the butterflies. The butterflies were actually one of the most challenging things for me in this painting, because when I first worked on them right now, I didn't really like them. They felt very clunky, very heavy, and they weren't as light and elegant as I wanted them to be. And here's a cat. That's Miss Rosie, who was brand new to the house at the time. yeah, so these butterflies, the first pass I did on them, I just didn't like them very much, and they felt very heavy in comparison to the figure and the flowers, and they felt, I don't know, not right for the painting. So I will go back to them later on in the process, and I'm so happy I did because they look so much better. And seeing, me painting butterflies right now, I'm feeling like the call for the painting of the butterfly. It's coming back. I can't wait to paint more butterflies. I need to draw some butterflies. I need to, get a concept sketch going. I always work from a sketch. I never start straight with a painting, mostly to have the composition I want and to work out the bad ideas from the good, I suppose. I'm also using ink here because, as I said, lazy painter. So this painting was done on canvas paper. It's just paper that I bought very cheaply from my local shop. It's by Reeves, so it's very affordable. And I did give it a couple of layers of gesso, and gesso is an acrylic primer. It's something you use to seal your canvases or wood. And what you do is you do a couple of one layer, you let it dry, you sand it a little bit, and then you do another layer and you sand it again, and another layer and you sand it again, and then you start painting. That's pretty much how it works. And that gives the paper a bit more a bit more like canvas. And at the end I also what the word I'm looking for, varnished this painting. I did a couple of layers of glossy varnished on top of this illustration painting. I'm really happy with this little painting. It's it turned out exactly as I wanted. And here you can see a big jump because I had lost some footage, and you just missed the flowers. You saw the first few, and I would the rest of the flowers the same way. And that's when I go back to the butterflies and I start adding a bit of gradient or ombre, whichever you want to call it, or shading, and they look so much prettier. I also trimmed the lines that I had put down in the butterflies. They were just too strong, so I thinned them out, and then I put my gradient in, some highlight and all of that, and I'm so much happier about the look of those butterflies at the end. Sorry, my cat is clawing my leg right now, so if you can hear some weird noises, it's her, because she wants my attention because I'm talking, so she thinks I am talking to her. Anyway, we're almost done with this painting. There's not much left, I think, at this point. I think there's more shading in the hair, some drop shadow from the antlers, and a little bit of deepening of shadows around the face. But that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will try to come back very soon, next week, with a new video and maybe something a bit more recent. I don't have anything else recorded, so I will have to film something for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.